Why I'm riding the pine with Punchy Langer in summertime. I'm just sitting on the bench with two line mates of mine.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 22 of Ride and Pine Chronicles with the Fourth Line, brought to you by the Hockey House. How you doing, Summer?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
Langer got a start in the pipes tonight,
Yeah.
so
Good for him. Good
he's
for
not
him,
quite
man.
here. He's our guy for warm ups, but
Yeah.
I got a warm up
Yeah.
question for you, Summer.
Right, right. Okay, rocking.
Episode 22,
Yeah.
right? Famous
Yep.
22s, famous 22s,
Oh God. Jordan
right?
2-2. Boom.
Jordan 22, yeah.
Yeah.
Rick Vive,
Rick 5.
Rick
Yeah, I
Vive's
won't. I didn't know that. Yeah, I know the name. Who did he play for? Rick 5. I want to say, wait,
Buffalo,
Minnesota.
Toronto.
Oh, okay. Buffalo, Toronto.
He might, if
Oh,
Langer was
yeah, it
here,
was
he'd know
Toronto.
all
Yeah,
of
yeah.
it. Yeah, he
Yeah.
played Toronto for a long time. Langer's
He
our
did.
resident guru, so
Yeah.
we're just kind of throwing out. You know who I remember was 22? Clyde Drexler. Wrong sport. Played
Drexler.
basketball back
All right.
against Jordan in the heyday. But
Right, okay. What was Clyde? What was he? I want to say Detroit. No. I want to say Phoenix, maybe?
Clyde Drexler,
Yeah. LA?
Portland Trailblazers.
Portland.
The Portland Trailblazers, I believe.
Blazing the trails.
Who's a
Some
good
kids like
22? Wasn't Dino Cicerelli? Was he 22?
Dino Cicerelli. Yeah,
Remember,
potentially. Yeah,
remember
don't
Dino?
know. Yeah, I remember
Dino.
Dino. Dino is sort of remembered for an incident, isn't he? More than didn't he was like
Well,
one of the
he's
first guys to use this, well, he probably wasn't the first guy, but he used his stick as a weapon, uh, like swung it
well,
at a guy's
it was
face.
the 80s.
It was the 80s.
It
Yeah.
was the 80s. Like
Yeah.
was it McSorley used his stick
Yeah.
worse than anybody.
Yeah.
Well, hey, this episode we're going to be talking about Olympic memories. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I was thinking of like famous Canadians, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Remember like Ben Johnson?
Oh man,
Do you
wait, you're
remember
ruining my
that?
period. You're ruining my period here. Like, what's going on? Yeah,
Okay.
don't even
Okay, should we
start.
just stop?
Yeah, just start the first period, drop the puck, and let's rock.
All right.
Yeah,
we're dropping the puck.
jeez. All right, and the first period is underway. Yes, yes. So one of my Olympic memories was Ben Johnson.
Ben
Now, I remember
Johnson, yeah.
watching him win, right? Convincingly as
Yeah.
well. And I still remember vividly after he won, like he held up his hand like this, gave the number one sign as he like ran out his 100 meter.
Yeah.
And I remember being proud, proud Canadian.
Like that was one of those ones where you remember where you were, right?
I
Like
don't remember where
or it was like for me it was I was real young.
I
I was
was real
real
young.
young.
Yeah.
Like cuz that was what Olympics was that? Do you
I'd
remember?
probably be,
Was it
uh,
88?
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, cuz
Yeah.
that was a big Olympics
Yeah.
for Canada.
Canada.
They always had
Well,
good runners.
yeah, yeah, we still do. I think it's like Tyson DeGrasse. Is that there's a Degrassi or something like that. We got a sprinter.
That was an awesome
Man,
show.
we got
That
a
show brought you
friggin'
Drake.
14-year-old Olympian swimmer, man.
Yeah,
This
that's pretty
girl
crazy.
is ripping it up. Um, yeah, good
What,
for
like
her.
Phelps style? I haven't
Not
actually
quite
seen,
yet. Not quite yet, man. But
but she's 14.
she's finishing like
She's
first
got
and
time.
second in her heats, like 400 freestyle, 200 freestyle.
Yeah,
At 14 years old, man. And she's
yeah,
competing
that's
against, I mean, they're adults generally,
pretty much, yeah.
18 to whatever. But, anyways, yeah. No, I was watching her. She swam 2 races or yesterday. But I think actually it was the semifinal today. I wonder how she did. We'll check it out. But anyways, sorry, going back to
We,
Ben Johnson. Remember
yep.
being so proud. And yeah, then unfortunately, he just made some bad decisions and got caught cheating.
Well, do you remember like the build up to that though? Like it was like Tyson versus Holyfield. It was Ben Johnson versus
Yeah,
Carl Lewis.
it was Carl Lewis, right?
Carl Lewis was
Yeah.
from the U.S. and it was always like them two in the World Championships every year for like every event for a good portion of time. There it was like a back and forth battle, and then it was always like an asterisk for Ben Johnson and an asterisk for Carl Lewis, right? Because like even though, because Ben Johnson like smashed the record that in that race, didn't he? It wasn't only that he won the gold medal;
Yes,
he,
that's
he
right.
also like destroyed the world record.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yes.
and he's like, "There's a reason why my neck has a neck."
That's right.
He was such a massive
Damn.
unit. Like
Yeah.
he looked
Well,
like a freak, like carved
yeah.
out of granite.
Yeah, man, he was black as night as well, right? You know, he
Yeah,
was yeah, definitely. Yeah, he was a unit.
yeah,
Um, yeah, yeah. So Ben Johnson, unfortunately, yeah, let us down. But he's probably, regretting it. Still. You know what I mean? Because that's all he's going to be remembered for is being a cheater. Out of
it
everything that
is
he's
true.
accomplished, he's probably accomplished quite a bit, but only remembered for cheating at the Olympics. So unfortunate, but yeah, you got to live with your decisions, don't you?
Yes, you do.
A little lesson for you folks. But anyways, right. And so my next uh, Olympic memory is Donovan Bailey.
Donovan Bailey, yes, sir.
Yes.
Another
Yes.
runner.
Yes. Yes. And Donovan, I don't know that he broke the world record, um, but I remember watching him race, and there was also like the build up, right? Because the U.S. sprinter this time, I think his name was Michael Johnson.
Yep.
You
Yeah, it
right?
was the same type of deal. Yeah, they were
Yeah,
they were going head to head.
that's
Yeah.
right. And Donovan took it out at the Olympics to win gold. And I was that was one that I still remember where I was when that happened. So
Yeah.
that would have been 92.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. And I was in
Ni-
Montreal at a hockey tournament, of course. And
Montreal
anyways,
again.
yeah, yeah,
There you go.
this is the place to be, man. Oh my God. Anyways,
That's the spot.
and yeah, a bunch of us were watching it in the room, and yeah, I remember getting like up close to the TV and like, yeah, yeah, because Donovan, he had a slow start, but he was like a racehorse once he got going, man.
Yeah.
And yeah, you just see him, he was sort of losing a little bit of momentum, and then boom, he just took it out, overtook everyone. And so it was a great race, good finish, good run. I can't remember if he set a world or an Olympic record though, but do you
No,
know?
they were
I don't
I'm
trust.
not sure about Donovan Bailey. I know he won a world championship at least.
But
Not
Donovan was a 200-meter sprinter rather than a 100
Yeah,
meter.
he ran a longer distance. I think
Yeah.
he also did like what is it, the 4x200, the 4x200
Yeah,
relay.
relay. And he probably
Yeah,
would have anchored the 4x100
because there was
relay as
another
well.
there was another guy that ran with him too, like along the same time. There was
Mm.
Donovan Bailey, and
Four
then
by,
there was another guy
there
that
was
always
four other
was
guys.
third. There was
There's
another
four.
guy that was always third.
Oh, right. Yeah,
He
yeah,
was another really good sprinter. I
yeah,
can't remember his name for the life of me though.
yeah. Yeah, well, that's right. I mean, you're on the track team and you're over or in the shadows of, Ben Johnson or Donovan Bailey.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, what can you do, right?
Ben's casting
Michael
quite the
Johnson.
shadow.
He
He's a
is.
shadow. He's a
He is a
he is a shadow himself.
he is indeed.
But
Man. Oh fuck. And so do you remember after like the races, after the Olympics, Michael Johnson challenged Donovan Bailey to a one-on-one race. Um, and like, do you
yes, I
remember that?
do. Yes, I
Yeah.
do. And that
And
was another
Donovan,
one of those big, like
oh yeah, it was huge.
big Evander Holyfield against Mike Tyson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. And I think there was even like a money grab, so the winner took home $2 million or something like that,
I think
But
I'm not. I might be wrong too. I think there may have been some kind of charity element to it as well.
yeah,
Yeah.
you'd imagine, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, so yeah, that race happened, and they agreed because Donovan argued that he's a 200-meter sprinter, and Mike's a 100-meter sprinter, so they made it like a 125 or 150-meter sprint. And do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. I do.
Yeah. So, yeah. So the big race is on, right? Donovan Bailey and Mike Johnson going head to head in this special competition. And boom, the gun goes, right? And Donovan, right, typical sort of slow start, but probably about the 60-meter mark, Donovan started like really overtaking Mike. And then
Yeah.
Mike pulled a fucking hammy and stopped running, man.
Yes, I remember
And he
that.
started
I do.
hobbling on and
Yes.
didn't even finish the race, man.
No.
And it only happened when Donovan overtook him. And I thought immediately, and I still think to this day, it was a fucking cop-out. He just couldn't take it.
No, he's
and
He's
he
American.
pulled a fucking hammy. He challenged Donovan. There's like, a 6-month build up to this thing, or whatever. It's not like it was the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he pulls a fucking hammy, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? That was such bullshit. At least fucking have some balls and finish the race. Admit that you lost. Donovan's quicker. Like, be a fucking man. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a pure cop out.
Christ. It was. I remember being disgusted. But sorry, America, but fuck, come on. If a Canadian did it, I'd say the same damn thing, But anyways, yeah, a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth. From
So
that
you're
race.
bit of a sprinting fan back in the day, were you?
Yeah. Well, I used to be a bit of a sprinter in my elementary.
I could see that.
days.
I could see that.
I remember.
Your stick figure body's good for something.
Yeah, but I wasn't a stick figure all the time. I used to carry not quite a bit of extra weight, but enough
Yeah.
where,
Oh.
he's back. He's off. They pulled him.
That's what happens. They pull him out of the game.
Jeez.
They pull him out.
All right. He's back from the ice, folks.
How is the start, Langer?
His first shift. Great work, man. How was
First
it?
shift of the season, bud. How you doing?
Oh, he's speechless. Yeah.
He's completely
he's-
speechless. And we
Yeah.
can't even think.
Yeah. He's forgotten
All right.
to flick a switch. There it is. The
How's the
switch is on.
start, bud? Get a good start tonight.
Right on.
All right.
Right on.
He was
Great.
he was under the knife, But he's back. He's not dead tonight. Now he's sitting on the bench with fucking guys like us.
Like ice. That's right.
And he's riding the pine. Okay, I can't even play guitar.
He's probably not riding it very well.
It's all
not
good.
doing anything.
Yeah.
Coach, what year?
I got a 2-liter bottle of guarana and vodka, so I gotta get that. I'll be right back.
All right. All right. Oh, there you go.
Okay, well, show's about to begin, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, he was here
What's
and
up?
then he's gone.
It's always
all right.
on with.
Oh,
when you
I'm
look at the-
sorry.
It wasn't that far.
I'm so sorry. I was in Auckland and I had to catch up. So what did I miss? Is the Olympics over or what's going on? Are we done?
Yeah. No,
Did we win all the gold medals?
that's right.
No, we're,
Especially the walking race where you walk and your ass is like super tight.
That's right.
Like you've been banged in your fucking ass the whole time. What are you drinking? What is that? A giant bottle. What is that?
Yeah, giant bottle of vodka.
Oh, I
Stole it
can't
from
wait
my
to hang
brother.
out with you in 2 weeks
Yeah.
downtown.
That's right. That's me.
Yeah.
Got my water bottle.
Oh, the boys. It's good to be back. I love you guys.
I love you
Are we
too,
rolling
buddy.
or no? We're not rolling. We're not doing anything.
We've been
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
we're
We've
we're
been
deep
rolling.
into the first, man. You're
Yeah.
just I was wondering, you get the hook? You get the hook?
Yeah, what
you
happened
you
there,
get tonight. That's
So-
why you went on the
Well,
pine with us.
I
3
had
goals
the
on 5 shots or what?
no. There was a list on the wall, and my name wasn't on it, so I got pulled into the room, and they told me how bad I was, so I wasn't on the team. I'm like, wait a minute, this is my show.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah,
Right.
and you're like, you're not good enough.
Oh, fuck.
Whatever.
You show them.
Oh, you're playing.
Okay,
You're
sorry,
playing,
boys.
you're playing good for us, and you're exactly where you belong on the fourth line,
this
buddy.
Is tonight, this is what's happening. I don't even know. There was a guy with a turban.
Right.
He was watching the show. It's like ubba dubba dubba. I'm like, okay, can I get this? This will be $10.
Dang. Right. Okay. Well, let
So
us
do
know
you
how that
remember Ben Johnson, John?
Oh, 1988. Of course I do.
1980.
1988.
He,
There you
he
go.
looked like a grape. He was so dark. He looked like a purple grape. He did.
We were talking about his
And
darkness
they're like, he's
earlier.
from Canada. I'm like, really? He looked like a Concord grape. In a dark room, all you could see was his eyes. You know. Try. I remember seeing. So I'm jumping on a moving train right now. I don't know where you guys have been. So I remember seeing him in Toronto, like a year after this, and he was driving a black Ferrari, and I just thought, how is this African man? They don't have cars in Africa. Like driving away from gazelles and lions and
That's right. Well, they need it,
cheetahs and
Yeah, they just run
fucking,
places.
like hyenas and stuff. He was loving it, and I'm like, you cheated. You're a cheater.
He was a cheater.
I know.
Yeah.
What the hell?
And what about Carl Lewis?
He was like Addo Bolin. Addo Bolin was a runner from Trinidad. Giant package. I remember it was bulging at the starting line. Carl Lewis was kind of like the Michael Jackson of running. He was kind of a bit gay.
Well, he's a bit of a playboy.
He was a
Wasn't he?
bit gay though.
Was he? Yeah.
He had some gayish qualities to him.
Did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Right. I don't
But
remember.
giant
I don't remember
package though.
that.
I mean those
Right,
tights.
Yeah.
I mean we all want to walk around with no tarp on with tight bike shorts on
That's
with,
right. Yeah.
with our shit just fucking exploding. And we all want that, right? But we can't have that. So we do what we got to do. We're doing this podcast. That's what we're doing.
That's right.
That's what we're trying to
We're
do.
riding the
anyways.
pine, right? All
Yeah.
right, I'm drinking this here.
Oh, you come in on fire when you get to start, man. I like
Well, I'm
this.
sorry, boys. I mean, I was in Auckland.
No
Auckland's so
apologies. If
gritty,
the
but
coach
it's
puts
gritty.
you in, the coach puts you in. Your coach puts you in.
Yeah, I feel bad, but I appreciate the respect and the love of Addo Bolin and Carlos's giant package, and we're just keeping it real tonight.
Well, luckily now you're all caught up, and we're still in
All
the
right.
first period.
There you go.
All right.
Right on.
All right.
All right. Oh no, you missed Donovan Bailey. That was the last one.
Oh,
Did you
yeah,
talk
we-
about how he chirped that guy when he did the
Michael
race
Johnson?
at the Skydome?
Mike Johnson.
Remember the Skydome? And he chirped him
Yeah.
because he beat him, and he pulled a hammy, and he
Yeah,
pull off the
We
side of the road.
just-
Remember that?
We just literally talked.
Pulled
Yeah,
off to the
okay.
side of the road, man.
Remember
Yeah.
that? He had to
It
pull
pulled
into the
off to-
rhubarb and change a tire.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. Classic American
man.
move, you know.
Because the mechanism fucking broke and he had to take
Whoops.
a time out.
I'm losing.
What
Yeah.
else did we want to know from Langer? Rick Vive. Give
No,
us
no.
what
Yeah.
teams did he play for? We need to
Well,
know
he
that
was
quickly.
drafted by the Vancouver Canucks, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So you
And
gone,
then-
and he was He was the first Leaf to score 50 goals. He was number 20.
yeah.
Yeah, first Leaf. There's only been two guys. So Vive, I think, scored twice 50, and Gary Lehman, who banged Ali Afraidi's wife, I believe, banged the shit out of her. And then Al had to go to Washington, so that's what 50
Oh,
goals gets you in
shit.
Toronto.
Jesus Christ.
Gets
Wow.
you a plane ticket to
Yeah.
to Maryland.
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
And you're out like trout.
That's right.
That's it.
You're
And there
out like
goes my
trout.
career.
Sorry, buddy. I missed you guys. I was dying, but I've been in Auckland though, and I'll tell you,
Yeah.
the grit and the grime in that town. I was in
It's
South.
awesome,
I was
eh?
in Manurewa, if you're a Māori, but
Right.
it's the
Yeah.
grime is so deep and thick. Oh my god! How many cars can you put on a front lawn of your house?
A lot.
You know, and like how much spray paint can you put on a fence
A
and have
lot.
pride in it?
Yeah.
And I can't read what they're what is
No,
it?
Yeah, no.
It's just a bunch of shit everywhere. It's just, you know, like I'm like you guys. I grew up at the Brink, so you were in an industrial park, and
Yeah.
a guy like Shane Langley can say, "Listen, guys, I need to go home because I have a life." And I'm like, "Well, this is our life, so just we'll go out on the street and we'll just
Yeah.
crush
We'll continue.
Scout sauce and pints and." You know,
Technical
we'll do
labor.
our work, and
Yeah.
you go home and do your work.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. God bless the hockey house.
Thank you, Shane Langley.
Yes,
Yeah,
Shane Langley
There
is the
you go.
man.
he is. He works hard for all of us.
he does.
So first period, what else we got clipping along here?
Right. Where was I?
We're kind of on the track
Ben
of famous
Johnson,
Canadian Olympians.
Jonathan Bailey.
Oh yeah. Have you talked about
Um,
the Alexiak lady, who's the swimming
Who?
superstar?
Oh,
What was her name?
oh,
Jamie.
yeah.
Was it? So Jamie Alexiak's sister is
Yeah,
like a
his
superstar
sister.
in the pool.
yes.
Yeah.
Penny Alexiak.
Isn't she? She's playing water polo too, isn't she?
Probably.
She's a superstar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I was watching last night. So I pull up the the NZ on demand, whatever, on the computer. So she's doing a 1,500 meter swim. So it's 50
No,
meters.
Thank you.
So it's 100
Yeah.
meters down and back. So it's
Yeah.
like it's a half an
A
hour
lot.
swim.
Yeah.
So she's just cruising the whole time, like she's a monster. And the Australian and the American, they're just pedaling, right? So she kind of lets up at the end because she's like, I just need to qualify, So the story I read about, a couple of years ago, she was talking to her brother was saying, well, she's a big deal in Canada. She's like, yeah, because she beat out that guy, and the guy next to her was Sidney Crosby.
What?
Well, her swimming prowess and her achievements.
Oh, right.
So at the big dinner, you get roast beef, that flat roast beef with the gravy on it,
Yeah.
and the smashed potatoes, at the banquet.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're like, okay, well, she beat out that guy over there, and Crosby was sitting next to her. So like, she's a big wheel in Canada.
Right.
Yeah.
She swims hard. She's a big wheel. We're not too bad.
Not bad.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What about Ross Rebliati? You remember him?
Damn.
Um,
That was my number 3.
so-
Yes.
Is that the-
Yeah.
So is that the guy who got stoned like by
The guy
association
that banned marijuana.
because he was at a party in Whistler and everyone was smoking weed?
I was just.
Yeah,
They were
true.
drying it in the
Yeah,
in the stove.
Is the
he got high?
Vancouver Olympics, and he won the
Yeah,
half.
so-
Was it the half pipe or
No,
the big
it
air?
was. I
So
thought.
Big
ha-
air.
Oh.
So how
I thought it was.
how
down.
can you use the excuse
might
of
have
I was? So if you're stoned and you're doing an event and you win,
She'd get
really that you should get 2 medals for
Get
that.
2 medals. Yes.
Yeah.
You should get someone
Automatically.
else's gold medal, like
And
the
a
swimming
blowjob.
medal. Oh yes.
Yeah. Well, on
Because
the podium.
if I'm going down the half pipe, I'm like, where's the dill pickle chips?
That's it.
Where's the
down at
poutine?
the bottom with the beer,
Like,
right?
I
Yeah.
could crush a lime crush, like a green. It's atomic green.
in the air. Remember, like, I think he did, like, at the end, there's the big jump as he coming down. He did, like, the beer sign. Like, as he did the jump, he, like, did.
We are
um,
proud of these men and
yeah.
women in our country.
And then hurled himself down a mountain, stoned. Yeah.
So I was away again. I was grinding it out in Auckland, and the Kiwis won like a bronze medal in triathlon. It's great, and I have to
Yeah.
understand it's a small country and people, but they lose their mind. And I'm like, okay, so you can run and bike and climb over something, and you won.
They only got one medal.
Yeah, you're like the
Right?
third.
They can't bike, and
You know,
maybe.
see, I'm
some
a believer.
canoeing.
Like a silver
Kayak.
medal is like you're the first loser, right? So you lost. So
Yeah.
you win,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
We know that from hockey. So they're excited.
that's
I'm like,
right.
good on them.
Yeah.
And I understand the context, small country, whatever.
Yep.
But I'm like, I'm Canadian, so it's like, well, maybe we don't like running over things and climbing stuff. So we're into like swimming over things and shooting stuff into things and nets and things like that. So,
Just different.
it's different.
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
It's whatever.
I
Sorry,
mean,
boys. I came in super hot. I'm trying to put the brakes on, and I'm still like in the rhubarb right now, and I'm
yeah.
telling me to shut up, and I'll be back to go.
Keep
Ready to
going.
go. Punchy, I'm glad you're good to go, bud, because I was worried about you today. It's a big day.
No worries. No worries.
You're good to go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right,
you look
second
great.
period. Drop.
How
it.
was this? How was the sales?
You want to go second period, eh?
Yeah, that was it. You got Ross, and
Okay,
that was
sorry.
that was my second period.
All right. We got the full team back together. We got the fourth line ready to go, fresh for period number 2.
All right.
And off we go. Yeah, so Langer kind of touched on it there. So we're talking, the show's about rings and Olympic rings. And, when I hear, when we were talking about the rings, like the first thing you think about with the Olympics is the rings. And I was thinking about other stuff like championship rings and like getting your ring blown apart, which is what happened to me today. It was just,
Oh yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, no, I'm good. Like, yeah,
Annie, are you okay? Are you okay, Annie?
Getting older, wasn't sure if I was gonna chat about
Are you
this
sitting
on the
on a
show,
donut
but
or what?
yeah.
I think it's
No,
important
that's it,
for
not
our
a
male
donut.
viewers to be very candid and
Yeah, it's very
You need a
to be
donut?
very candid. Hey, I think every
You discover that you're living a
middle-aged
lie.
man like myself that you should take care of your stuff and
we're proud of you, bud.
get checked
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
We're proud of you.
But yeah, no, everything's good. I'm fine. I'm
Good. Clean as a whistle.
You are now, anyways.
yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Even in shorts with no underwear now. Or
got
are
to
you good?
have some Sal's
Alright.
Pizza, a proud
did you
sponsor
crush
of
that?
the NZIHL.
It should be. It's amazing.
Got to eat some of their delicious pizza
It's
as my
so
first
good.
meal in 72
So good.
hours.
Really? So did you? No. So did you cheat?
Waters tonight and what's that?
I want to know. Are you serious about that? You didn't eat anything for 2 days?
100%.
Nothing.
100%. Yeah, announced the
Not,
game.
not even a cheese slice?
No, announced the game on the Sunday.
Really?
Announced the game on the Sunday. Came home.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Came home and then
Punchy is a testament to that.
my next morning it said that I couldn't eat after 7:30, so I set my alarm for 6. And
So you're like a gremlin.
I had a grilled cheese sandwich right
You're like a
before-
gremlin.
yeah, right before
Can't
I
feed
shut
you
it
after
down.
midnight and don't put water on you.
No, yeah, I did some meal prep, so I made like 4 Jello things. I like had morning tea. Jell-O.
Oh yeah, you had morning
yeah.
tea at your house.
Had to have certain kinds of Jello and stuff. Yeah, really weird. Yeah, you want to talk about weird though? Okay,
Yep.
so usually don't really talk about what's going on around the house, but
Oh come on, man.
so I'm at the hospital today. I'm getting checked in and I'm gonna meet my nurse, right? So my nurse comes over and nice older lady, and she goes, I can swap out. And I'm looking at her. I'm like, what do you mean you can swap out? With I'm confused enough as to what it is. And she goes, and she lifts up her like kind of hairnet thing, and she's like, I'm your neighbor. So if you feel uncomfortable, I can swap out. And I'm like, but she said like the name of like one of the procedures, because a couple of them they're hard to say. And she said the name of the procedure beforehand. So I'm thinking that it's going to be the guy who's in the room next to me in the hospital, and it's a weird procedure he's getting, and he might be loud, so I might want to swap out neighbors. And I'm like, and then my wife looks at me and she goes, oh my God, that's our neighbor. And I'm like, Oh, whoa, no, I can't. No, that's way too weird. Way too weird. So yeah, I had to throw a flag on the play and get a different because that's just too close to get to my neighbor.
Yeah,
You know
fair
what I mean?
enough.
Is it? Could have made for some real interesting, like fun conversations afterwards.
Or a super awkward Monday.
Yeah, but it would be fun doing it. Just invite her over for dinner. You know?
No.
Hey,
So like she comes over, she sees
because
your
thank
asshole.
you
Right?
for your work.
Her
Yeah,
heads.
that's right.
I know where her heads have been for
That's
now.
right.
Like she's never
She's
coming
seen
over.
your
for dinner.
asshole. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No, she's a sweet lady. She makes cookies and whatnot. But yeah, I don't know. So, so she gets her hands right into the dough. But yeah,
Lost
I
the
don't know.
wristwatch.
But,
Oh my
but
god.
Are you okay though?
yeah, I'm
you
fine. I'm
good?
good. Yeah, no, I'm good.
Yeah?
Like,
Did
yeah.
you stretch? Like you
I'm
had to
telling
stretch
you,
anything
man.
out?
I'm telling you. No. Peace.
No, you're
like
good?
no, but like peace of mind, man. As you become to
Yeah,
get
I
older.
agree. Listen,
you
all the
get
guys
older-
out there, you need to get it checked out.
Yeah, you need to get yourself checked out every once in a while. Like
You do.
I have, my family's got a shitty track record on the guy's
Yeah.
side. They don't last very long.
Gotta
So
sort it
one thing I try to do is make sure that if I'm a big disgusting
man.
mess, that at least I'm healthy from the inside. So I recommend it to everybody. It's for most guys, it's covered under your insurance. So
So how was the
Have a look.
wearing the dressing gown? The back end's wide open.
yeah, I was
There's no defense. How's that? How's that?
actually I was quite impressed because the new ones.
You aroused?
Because the no,
yeah,
'cause
exactly.
the
Was there
new-
a breeze?
the new no, because
Drafty.
Like, oh.
the new ones have about 1 million buttons down either side, so it's
Okay.
literally like putting a blanket over yourself, and there's like
You're
about
not doing
50
those
buttons.
those buttons up though. You're not
No.
doing that, are you?
No, they're
I
already
wouldn't do
done
that.
for you. No, they're already done it for you.
I
You
would just throw it on like a
chuck it on.
poncho and just.
That's exactly what you do. It's
Just live the life.
it's an updated version
Yeah,
of
that's what you
the
gotta
old
do.
apron. There's no.
You gotta give her, bud. You just gotta give her.
I was.
Rip it open, put it
Yeah.
on backwards, and rip it open. Walk around.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan, just
That's right.
just crush it. in
The
ring.
funny
Pair of
thing
sandals.
the funny thing is, so as I'm going under, the guy goes, so you play hockey, eh? And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
He goes, so what position you play? I'm like, don't remember giving him the answer. Woke up with a sore
Because
ass.
there is no right answer.
Block.
Yeah.
Woke
So
up with
you
a
blocked a shot.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it was confused. It confused me because I never go on the ice. I'm always riding pine, so I'm always riding pine. So I didn't really know what to say, but never got the answer. Woke up with a sore ass and an ice
Blocks
block.
a shot with his ass. I love it.
Yeah.
He goes. He turns backwards.
Was the ice block up your ass or?
No,
right.
no. Thankfully.
Right.
Thankfully. But yeah, so when I was thinking about rigs, I was thinking about blowing my rig apart today. That was a rough one.
Yeah.
But championship rigs too. Yeah, like.
Oh right.
Did you get a look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers new championship ring? If you haven't yet, Google
Is it
it.
sexy?
Oh, it's so unreal.
So is it black and orange and
No,
diamonds?
It's gold and diamonds, and literally, you can take the top off of it, and it has the entire stadium inside of it. It's
See,
ridiculous.
It sounds like you designed that ring because that's something you would do.
well.
A stadium ring. See, I don't. So
I'm
the question
sure
is though.
is bringing it up right now.
But the question is, if you were like awesome, and we're not awesome at all. There's nothing awesome about us.
No.
But if you want something, but would you wear that around?
No.
Like, did you wake up in the morning and put it on, and you go to the gas station, or you buy, some
No, I'd put it in
bread at the
a
grocery
room.
store.
I'd put it in a room and build the room around it.
So I'm asking you because I remember meeting Bobby Clark at the Peter Memorial Center years ago, and my dad was like, "That's Bob Clark." I'm like, "Is that the guy who broke that guy's leg for Russia?" He's like, "Yeah," and he had his 2 Stanley Cup rings on, and they were like retarded.
No, none of those are it, Summer.
But I would wear it. I'm like, "You've won something." I would wear it all the time.
Summer, that's it. There in the bottom right corner.
So if
that
you're
one.
like Henri Richard or someone who's won 11 of them, I'd wear all 11
That's not it.
rings like every day. Like I go down to the bowling alley. I'm like, I need a root beer, and these are my rings. Like every day. No, can you imagine 11? Like you have 10 fingers, as far as I know.
What's
Like
Brady?
legally, you have 10 fingers, and you got 11 rings. Where's that 11th ring? Like it's got to be on your dick. It's got to be hanging off the end of your cock. Just it's hooked on the end.
Just because you have that option.
Just on the end, just hooked on the end of your knob, and you're just like, that's my 11th ring.
Imagine
You ask him, what was your favorite
in the
championship?
season for
Like, it was, I don't know. Like, so my intro question, because I can't ask you because I was drinking. Did you ever
Save it for
win
overtime,
anything
then.
that was amazing, though?
Should
Have you
save
ever
for
won
overtime.
anything? Oh, okay.
Won anything that was amazing?
Is that an request? Because I just want to know, like, we've all won something that was like we won. You know, like you won. Like
Well,
I'm a winner.
For me, man, one thing I won't ever forget would be, was it 2012? 2012, the same year I got married and stuff, and the year before the BHL started, I won the championship, the national championship for gridiron.
Football.
Gridiron here in New
Okay.
Zealand, yeah.
So
the
outside
Kiwi
of
Bowl.
so we're going outside the hockey house. If
That
you
was
ever
kinda
won
cool.
anything that made your dick hard, you put a ring on the end of it, right? So you won the Kiwi Bowl. That's cool. So you came down to a country, and you won it.
Yeah, I didn't even know
Because
that
I remember
you
going
really
to your
had.
house, and you had the helmet, and you had the trophy in your garage. And I'm like, that's a big cock balls thing to have in your garage. You know, you won something.
Yeah. That must have been like my day with the cup or something.
Well, it was the rest of the year because you're punchy and like I'm just gonna take that.
You'll get it back. Yeah.
Yeah, at some point,
Yeah.
it's mine for the rest of the
Don't worry.
year.
Don't worry. Yeah. That's right.
Because you showed me that you took your pants down and you're like, I won this. It's like, yeah, man, that's awesome.
I tried to balance it on the end of my
Yeah,
dick.
you
What
did.
could I
You
say?
did. You hooked it on the end, right? Because you hook it over at the
I
end.
had to try. I had to
So when
give
it's
it an
windy, it's not going to fly off. The end.
effort. I don't know.
I'm worried about Somerville. I'm trying to keep Somerville involved here.
Unfortunately, man, I wasn't on a lot of
Vincent.
championship teams growing
Yeah, me
up.
neither. But we have one though, and that's the thing about winning something is when you do, like you're very appreciative of it.
Yeah,
It could be in the BHL or whatever. I mean, as much as I dreamed I wanted to be an NHL player, and I was lucky enough. I played 1 year playing all-star hockey.
yeah.
And I won something, and I'm like, I won. And I wanted to think that was going to catapult me to free agency and all the problems that professional hockey players have, and some smoking hot rocket ship boy, and I never had any of that, but I won something. You feel like you won something.
What about you,
Did you ever
Summer?
win anything? Did you ever win anything?
Yeah, I won. As a kid, we won the I don't want to say national champions, like whatever the regional hockey league that we were in. The 417 league. But,
But did you love that?
Sounds
then it
awesome.
was
You must have been elated. You
Yeah.
Sounds
win.
way better than the
Man,
417
I
league.
still remember the game, where it was, who we played, what the score was. My dad was the coach of the team. It was, it was awesome, and then we got
So
to go up.
did you ever throw your gloves in the air?
Oh, me do, Ben.
And
helmets
run to
off,
the goalie, you know?
just
Yeah.
like the pros, right? That
Yeah.
was, yeah, exactly. They even brought out the trophy, and we had a presentation. The visiting
Yeah.
team won, and blah blah blah. It was cool,
Now that you say that, I remember playing goalie for lacrosse, and we won all Ontario's, and I got absolutely mauled.
So what level was
mobbed.
that?
It would have been
Pee
like
wee, band, midget?
it would have been like Pee Wee age, but like AAA.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Goalie, eh?
yeah. I played goalie for the
Hamilton.
for the St. Catharines Golden Eagles.
Okay, so you ran out and just threw the gloves off, and
I got
winning.
tackled because I was a goalie. I was
Right.
the goal.
You
I
got
was the goalie. Yeah, I was the goalie, so everybody jumped on me. and I ended up getting like
You
crushed.
probably didn't like that.
No, well, I was little at the time, and I didn't care. We won. I was just trying to get up.
Yeah. I just like, because Punchman likes to kind of be in charge of the winning, but I mean, that's fun though.
I do remember being at the bottom of it wasn't
A
I can't
winning
remember.
pile?
Yeah, a winning pile and
Yes.
struggling to breathe and panicking, like it was scary as fuck.
Because
Like
you
I was
won.
gonna,
So you were almost dying because you won.
I was dying. Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
That's cool.
I still remember that feeling. That was scary as fuck. Yeah. But anyway,
Isn't that great though? You know, as a kid, and like having that experience. I wanted to play in the NHL. I wanted to play in the OHL, but to win something, you know, and to feel that feeling that and just the whole rejoicing and people are excited and the cheering and you're on the bottom and you're like, I can't breathe.
I can't breathe.
My leg hurts.
I'm dying.
And I think,
Get off! Get off! Get
you know?
off! Yeah.
and that's good because that's something you tell your kids, you know, like you have to
Yeah.
earn it. Because when you win, you fucking win. And it's great.
So for me, the last thing I have when I'm thinking about the Olympics was 88 in Calgary was a big time.
The Winter Olympics.
Yeah, the Winter Olympics in Calgary was a very big time, kind of memorable for me because
The second Olympics in Canada. I believe.
spent a lot of time in Calgary over my life,
Yeah.
and I remember Eddie the Eagle. Do you
Yes,
guys
from
remember
England.
Eddie the Eagle?
He's a ski jumper from England.
He was a
Yes.
ski jumper, and he was
Yeah.
horrible. He was
He
like
had never
so
done it
bad.
in his life.
He was so bad. Yeah,
Never.
and he never tried it before, and he was just like, I'm gonna just do ski jump. Now, I always thought and he was like a big like hype man. Like he'd get everybody going, and everybody was his fan. Like he was a story. There was between the '88 Olympics, it was like them, and then what is Cool Runnings, like the story of the Jamaican bobsled team.
That
Like
was the other narrative happening.
that was the other big monster story out
Big
of those
narrative.
Olympics.
Yeah.
And so I remember both of those like really, really well as like really big, like good memories from the Olympics for me. Yeah, and
You know what I just thought of? Imagine you do the ski jump. You know those flying squirrel suits?
oh,
know?
dude,
Could you imagine going down that? You go, whoosh, and then launch your squirrel suit, man. That would be
The wingsuit.
Yeah, the wingsuit, man. That's gonna be the next.
Well, see, I've always thought that we need two Olympics. I know Eddie the Eagle because they actually changed the rules about that because you need to actually qualify
yeah.
because he just showed up. He's like,
That's right.
no one in England does this, so I'm here.
Yeah.
And he was
So
like
I'm the guy.
Hot garbage and like
That's right.
crashing every time. No, but so I always thought you need two Olympics. You need the real Olympics and then you need the all drug Olympics.
Yeah.
Like all the enhancements, the drug, whatever. Like just go for
Everything
gold.
goes,
No, but
yeah.
seriously, like just go for it.
Yeah.
Isn't
Like,
isn't that American Gladiators?
Well, whatever. But I want to see how far you can take the human body with drugs and enhancements and see what. If you see like those dudes that pick up giant like
The strong
no,
men
they're like
guys?
like those dudes in
Yeah.
like Iceland that are picking up
Yeah.
giant like slot machines and like boulders and putting them on top of walls and stuff.
Yeah.
That should
Yeah.
totally be
Like-
an event.
You know, we talk about having pros in sports. I want to
Poker
see
machine throwing.
what. I mean, exactly. We've got people like working on vaccinations for the COVID and stuff.
Man, if
That's
there's
great.
a race walk or 3-on-3 basketball, there's definitely room for fucking or
Absolutely.
slot machine throwing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Dude, I like that they brought in street skateboarding this year.
Street skateboarding
Yeah.
or
Or they
we
brought in
talk about gay
surfing too.
sports?
No, no.
there's a
Anyways,
few.
what I was
So I'm
trying
going to talk
what I
about
was-
gay sports.
What I was trying to get at though with the '88
Super gay.
Olympics, Olympics,
Dressage.
have you ever actually? So I went to the Olympic Park over the time that I was there, and I
Really?
sat
You went to
on
Seoul,
the
Korea?
no in Calgary.
Okay,
and I sat on the chair of the 90-meter drop.
Isn't it terrifying?
Holy shit, is it
Yeah,
terrifying?
they have giant fucking
It is
penis and vaginas
so
in
scary.
that.
And like when you
Yeah.
see it on TV, it looks like they're coming down and then they land in a group in a big circle of fans. Well, you don't realize that those fans between the top of the grandstand and the bottom is like the size of a football field. That's how much distance it is, and it goes down in slopes. It's unreal.
And you're coming in hot.
Yeah, and you
Like,
have to stop
fucking
in a
hot.
very short amount of
Yeah.
time.
They got
So-
giant balls.
So
Huge
okay,
balls.
so just went
Yeah.
up there on a tour and sat on the chair, nearly shat myself. Then afterwards we went down, and I actually sat in the bobsled. So me and another guy,
Robert sled.
me and another guy sat in a bobsled. There was a guy from
A Robert sled.
there's a guy from Switzerland and there was a guy from the States. One guy was the driver and one guy was the brakeman. And me and this other tourist dude are in the middle of this fucking bobsled, and we went down. Oh my god, that is the craziest shit that I've ever experienced in my entire life.
Did you
Like
lose your
I've never
cock?
been on a fighter jet, but I would think that it's like
Very
this.
similar.
I
Yeah.
know.
You're
It's out
just
of
like,
control.
oh
They're
my
crazy, dude.
god. It's
But
What
who
about the
invented this?
What about the other
Sorry?
one? Where it's not the
Oh,
bobsled.
the
but
skeleton.
The skeleton.
You're coming in
man.
head first.
Yeah, man. On
Yeah.
a
Like,
on a trampoline with blades.
and you've got
or
a
something.
helmet on, and that's not doing
With
anything.
blades is the
Man,
best.
you know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Doing
Yeah.
nothing.
You
Yeah.
run down, you know.
But the thing about the Olympics is there's so many sports that we could just do. I don't know anything about it, but we could do it. I could go down head first on a sled. I've been on a
Yeah.
toboggan before,
That's right.
and I've been down head first. I could do that.
Grab
I'm
your
thinking
GP
that wouldn't
snow
end
race.
You
well.
know, there's
though.
a lot. There's so many made up sports in Olympics.
Fuck
So
yeah.
why not? You know,
Yeah.
like
Well, then-
smoking a dart and going down on your feet in work boots down an ice slide. Like I could do that.
Well, let's move right into the third period then.
I got a lot here. Okay.
Okay.
So
Well,
I want to start off with gay sports.
Okay,
So, there's so many
sweet.
gay-
All right.
So last night I watched sports on the computer. So you got the New Zealand whatever. So I'm watching stuff. So I'm gonna start off right now. So there was synchronized diving.
Awesome.
Okay, I just want to say these guys are fucking jacked. Like,
Yeah.
like if their
Yeah.
bathing suit is just covering what needs to be covered.
That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
You know, and I don't know. So I was watching the Japanese guys, and I can count in Japanese, and they're like each needs san, and then they do the thing. But the thing I like about watching the Olympic sports is sports I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what they're doing. Like, what's the rules? Like, how does it
Like
work?
judo?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like how?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah. Yeah.
you know?
Judo.
And
How do you get
the
it?
diving, the splash is too big.
Yeah.
I'm like, what is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Diving. I'm really starting to learn because my daughter's doing
Oh
it.
yeah, that's right. eh?
Yeah.
See,
So
I
it's-
just
like-
jump off of it, you know,
That's right.
and I want to make the
Oh.
biggest splash.
That's right.
And I do because I'm like the big fat dude, so I just make a big splash.
It's kind of interesting when you're watching a diving contest because, like, honestly, the first one I went to, I was like, "You're all screwed up because they hit the water and you're so excited, so you want to clap, but you like gotta wait for the person to swim back up to the surface, and then you're like."
I know they're not dead.
Yeah. Because, like, me, it was
Yeah.
like, as soon as they hit the water, I was like, yeah! And then I realized I'm the only one clapping. And then I realized by, like, the second dive, it's like, they go down, it's like, and then they come back up. Now when you watch it on the Olympics, you'll notice that. So
Yeah,
the
right.
diver will go in, and then everything's silent. And then as soon as their head pops up,
no,
"Hey!"
And they're clapping because they're not dead.
That's right.
They didn't
right.
drown.
That's
So, like, I'm watching surfing. So they have the surfing. I'm like, this is fucked because there's no same wave, right? So how do you? So somebody said it's like so the points are about trying to get to the beach.
What?
I'm like, well, how does that work? So, like, you're out there, like, the waves are never the same. So, and then there's a lot of variables. So, a shark
Yes.
can eat you,
Yeah.
or like you could get
All over.
like a ripped
Can't
wave
catch
and
the
you're
wave.
gone.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like, so how is this a sport? I mean, I think it's amazing. I would love to surf.
Yeah, yeah.
I think it'd be amazing. But how
It's
do
a
you
sport, but
kind of
maybe,
judge that?
well, I guess they implement the same way with the world championships, and this is like a lot of these sports aren't
Are
Olympic
coming.
sports, right? They're like world. They already have a circuit. There's a world circuit. They have their world championships. They
Yeah.
have the World Cup. They like all athletics, all swimming, fucking. They're I don't know, but weightlifting, boxing. No, maybe not
So,
boxing,
so
but
then
you know what I mean?
I start to compartmentalize this. So, to me, there's a difference between a sport and a game.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
if you're playing pool or you're bowling, like that's a game. There's nothing sporting about that. Like
Yeah, I can see where
throwing
you're
darts
going
is
with
not a
that.
sport. You know what I mean? Like, there's a
yeah.
difference between a sport and a game. So I was watching the sevens. So I watched a bunch of shit last night. I like rugby sevens because it's really fast and
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
it's
lots
exciting.
of
Yeah,
points and it's exciting.
yeah.
And
A lot of
Canada's
things
good in it
happen.
too. Canada's
Yeah.
really
but
good in
and
it.
I was watching Fiji and
Yeah,
there's
we
guys
did.
that are like 14 years old and they look like
Yeah,
75-year-old
yeah.
crushing dudes. Like they're
That's
crazy.
right. City miles.
Monsters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was watching. So the thing is, I watched hockey. All right. So the thing was, I'm going to watch this hockey game. So it was New Zealand versus Japan.
Yeah, I saw a
So
bit of that.
hockey is soccer with a stick. It is.
A little
It's
bit.
so stupid. No, but it's stupid because
It is.
there were 3 goals scored, and they were all scored after penalties
Yes.
in a certain area, and they
That's
get a
right.
free. But then they go behind the net
That's
and they
right.
put on face masks.
Their equipment.
And they run out after the ball, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And they score.
I think
I'm
a
like,
guy
what the
fractured one of the Japanese fellows blocking a shot
Really?
off one of the,
Yeah,
the penalties, man. Yeah, like the
Oh,
ball.
dude, that ball is hard as shit.
It's like cement,
It's made of
man.
wood or something. Like,
It's ridiculously solid.
but I'm watching this. I'm like,
Yeah.
it's soccer. They're passing this ball around, and you guys have played field hockey or girl hockey
yeah.
or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
they're passing it around, and then they wind up, and
With
it's
my
just like
vagina. Man,
Yeah,
when they,
it is.
it's like,
It is like soccer
is,
with
it
sticks,
is.
though.
Oh,
It is.
rock.
soccer sticks.
Yeah,
I'm like,
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
So
It
I'm
feels
talking to my
huge.
colleague, and they're like, "Oh, it's such a great game." I'm like, and I'm laughing, and I have the smiling face, like, "No, it's a stupid sport. It's ridiculous. You have to be nice, because you're like,
Yeah,
oh, it's
yeah.
actually dumb."
Yeah.
And they're putting these face masks on, and they're running out. I'm like, "This is gay."
The goalie
This
doesn't
is
have a trapper, right? He can't.
He's got this.
No,
piece of
well,
wood
two
I-
that he-
blockers. Two blockers on.
Yeah, I
And
played goalie for a little
we've heard
while, and
Punchy's
it's
story of
weird.
goaltending, and I
It's
mean,
weird.
I'm watching this, and I see Punchy as the goalie in Olympic hockey.
Street
He gets
hockey
the
style.
ball, and he's doing spinoramas through the legs with one hand,
I'd kick it.
and then he's pointing over there, and then he flips it over there, and he goes that way, and then he off the boot, but you can't kick it off your feet because that's illegal.
You can when you're the
apparently-
goalie.
You
You
can
can
when
when
you're
you're
the
the
goalie.
And then
goalie.
he's going bar down, and this Japanese girl is like doing the blades of steel, like this is illegal and this is bad. And I'm like, well, so honestly, because I'm watching this, I'm like,
she was a Japanese.
I'm
girl,
watching
though.
this
She's
game,
not
and
a-
I'm like, it's like a video game, and I can finish this and figure it out so fast.
Yeah.
But no, you've been doing this for 30 years, and you're still whacking the ball over it. And I'm like, this is dumb. Like, no one's been knocked out.
Yeah, that's like
No.
soccer too. Like I never understood why in field hockey or even soccer they don't deke
It's
more.
it's dumb.
Like why don't they deke more? Why don't they come in
It's
tight
impossible,
and deke
man.
out one
It's
guy?
dumb.
You can't. You got to be like Messi or friggin' even those guys, right? They can't deke everybody out.
But I play these garbage sports, these garbage European sports. And I'll tell you, when I moved here, like I was shocked because I don't know these sports. And I was really upset because I don't know these sports.
Yeah, I was.
And I guess in North America we have very distinctive sports, and we know.
Yeah,
But it's like I can make it better, and like, but you can't do that. I'm like, but you can. No, you can't do that though because it's the rules. But you can do that. No, but you just don't do that. I'm like, oh fuck this. This is fucking stupid. I'm out of here. Like it's just dumb.
Yeah,
I just don't get it.
Yeah.
I just don't get it.
Fair enough.
Yep.
I was a little shocked. There was a lot of sports here that I didn't know about when I moved to New Zealand for the first time. Like
You never seen cricket or any of that stuff in Canada?
I'd
Oh
seen
my
cricket.
God.
I'd seen
Even
cricket, but
rugby?
I'd seen cricket, but you know where I seen cricket in the movie King Ralph with John Goodman. John
Really?
Goodman, yeah, bro.
When was that on?
John Goodman
Oh
became
my
the
God.
king of fucking England, and he
Yeah.
showed up and he played a game of cricket, and he was stepping in like he was Barry Bonds, and he was just crashing him over the
Just
fucking fence.
crushing it.
Yeah, just
I
crushing
just-
him over the fence. I was like,
So,
"What is this cricket?"
Somerville,
But
I've
when I
had this-
came here, it was netball. I never ever heard of netball before I moved here.
So Somerville, I've had this conversation with you, and one of the hardest things coming over here, and I'd seen it on like European international shows in Canada, like cricket and rugby and netball, and it's just like it just seems so foreign. Like there's just nothing that connects me to this stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it, I'm like, this is so dumb. And I know they have established rules, but I'm watching, I'm like, why don't you do like hockey? Why is the net so big? Like, why do you get a free shot because there's a penalty in front of the? Really? Can you imagine ice hockey? So someone gets cross-checked in the high slot. There's a penalty shot. Really?
Boom.
Really? How gay is that? That's so gay. It doesn't make sense. Like that kind of stuff means that because you have a sport where no one scores, we're going to put rules in place that will allow you to have a chance to score. It's like scoring is this thing that's not really supposed to happen, but we'll have rules to allow it to happen.
That's right.
Well, that was the thing about field hockey for me as a goalie, which made me not want to play a season 2.
Well, and that's why you're never playing again because you were the
exactly.
guy.
But when I played net, man, I'd only get like 5 shots a game, maybe 6.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Like,
But
you know what I mean?
Had 12 assists, and everyone wants to ban you because you're changing the game.
But there'd be like 15 shots in the game. Like maybe like eight for us and
So
and
I'm watching
7
this
for
Euro
them.
soccer thing, and they're talking about England in the finals, and their goalie had 6 shots in the tournament. 6 shots?
Yeah, that's what I'm
What are
saying.
you, Jeff Glass in the 2005 World Juniors?
That's right.
6 shots? And why do they wear different shirts? We know you're the goalie.
Yeah.
Why are you wearing
You're
the fluorescent green
stand-
jersey?
It's
You're
cool.
standing
Why?
in the net and you have
Yeah.
the big gloves on.
That's
Yeah,
right.
you're like the guy. Like, but you have a different shirt.
What is with the gloves? Like, did their hands get so soft that they can't catch the ball without gloves?
Maybe they were.
I
They were
wonder.
Like,
I wonder if
bread
they're
and-
grippy.
And
I
brownies.
wonder if they're grippy.
But you
well, it's
never
the
get
same
the
with
ball.
Yeah, well, it's the same with football players. You know, everybody's wearing the super sticky gloves and stuff, right? I mean,
Those
again, it
make a
helps you catch
huge
the ball.
difference, though.
It makes a
Yeah, but
difference.
I understand
but it takes, like you know, it takes the challenge away. Like now with the super sticky gloves, you can easily stick out your one hand, and as long as you get your hand in the right spot, the ball's gonna stick there, right?
Yep.
Right.
Like
Yep.
back in the day, there was no fucking sticky gloves. You actually had to catch the ball.
Catch the
You know
ball.
what I mean? Like
Oh, I used to love the old
like,
leather gloves. The
we're
old leather
taking
Newmans were the
shortcuts
best.
to get, like Langer says, like we're taking shortcuts to to get to score, right? Because scoring's not supposed to happen, and so we'll implement these rules to allow it to happen more frequently, because that's what the fans like to see. But it takes, a
Like, see
little
them
bit
shrink
out of the
goalie
game.
pads. Shrink
Because
goalie
the whole
pads.
challenge, right? You grow up as a kid.
Yeah,
You don't
I
play
get it.
with like the freak equipment that all the pros do, right? So you grow up having to actually do it, and then when you're then paid to do it, you can take all these little shortcuts.
Mhm.
I don't know.
No, I agree. I just think
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't get it, and it's honestly like talking when somebody who likes football or soccer or whatever, and they're talking to you, and it just sounds like another language to me. I'm like, I don't understand what you're saying, but your net is giant. Why aren't you kicking the ball? From anywhere? Why? What?
Exactly.
Why are you?
Halfway?
Why are you passing the ball around for 90 minutes. And then you take a shot and he catches it and the game's not over because someone was
120
stretchered
minutes.
off because they fell down.
That's right.
And there's some undisclosed amount of time that still happened. We don't know. We're supposed to be excited. Like, what the fuck game is this? I don't understand that. I
Where
really
does the
don't.
time come from, right? Who makes that up?
And
Who
I tell them,
decides
like,
that?
why didn't you stop the clock? Well, because it's injury time. Then stop the clock.
That's right.
Well, because we don't do that. But if you stop the clock, then we all know how much is left.
That's right.
No, because some guy will get paid to come out and hold a sign up and go, there's 4 minutes left.
Oh, somebody does do that? I've never seen
Yeah,
that.
somebody come and then it comes on
Right.
the screen. So I understand in basketball, for example. So if the ball's in the air, I understand the concept of time stands still. I get that. That's cool.
Oh yeah,
But-
yeah.
so
I
was
like that about basketball too.
Yeah, but
Where
I was
as long
watching a
as
rugby game. I was watching a rugby sevens Olympics game the other night. So
Yeah.
New Zealand had won comfortably, but there was extra time. And they
Yeah.
scored another try, and the announcer's like, "Oh, they were great." And I'm like, "But the game's over."
Yeah.
So that extra 7 points means nothing.
Yeah.
Because the game's over.
It's over, right?
It's
Yeah.
over. There's no time left.
But we
It's
got
the
to
last
score a
play.
try. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But the game's over
It
though.
was useless.
yeah,
That's
right?
great.
You still
Well,
That's
lost.
awesome. You scored a try, but the game's over.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't understand the concept of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like you go to work and like, okay, I'm going home. No, there's actually an undisclosed amount of time left. You have to stay at work.
You gotta, you gotta work.
know.
Because
It could be like 2 hours. We don't know.
because Charlie, an accountant, cut his thumb off.
That's right. And they brought the ambulance showed up and they poured milk on it, and you're like, okay. So I'm done at 4, but I came up at 7:30 because there was extra time. No, I was done at 4:30. No, there's stuff happened and there's more time. So what's the point of a fucking clock? Can you imagine that in the NHL playoffs? It's like it's overtime, and Pittsburgh scores and ties the game. Oh no, there's still more time. No, the game's over. They won. No, there's still 20 minutes left, and we actually don't know how much time's left.
Yeah, like remember when the refs were talking, you know, the
Yeah.
4 or 5 times? Yeah, we've added
Yeah, yeah.
those up. And
Now we're just
So
play
Tampa
after.
scores 2 goals and the game's over.
that's right.
What?
Came on.
Why the fuck would you have a clock? Because it meant nothing. I don't get it. I fucking don't get it.
I hear you.
So what else we got going on in the third
Okay,
here?
hold on. I got some stuff here. I'm talking about
I
gay
got some
sports.
gay sports.
Yeah. Okay.
How about,
well, you
how
get,
about dressage? How gay is that?
That is pretty gay.
what is
Fucking
that?
gay.
That's like horse dancing.
It's horse dancing, man. Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly.
Is
what
that,
Right?
is that an Olympic sport?
Yes.
is an
Yes,
Olympic
it is.
sport.
Horse
I
dancing?
actually know some dressagers.
Dressagers.
That kind of makes you gay, though, if you do.
What about
know
this
guys.
one? So shooting, right, is an Olympic sport, right? And there's
Yeah.
rifle and pistol, but I'm looking at
Yeah.
there is a shotgun shooting.
Yeah.
I want to see that, man. Can you
great.
imagine? You're going to the Olympics to fire your shotgun.
Dude,
Everyone in the southern part of the United States must just crush that.
Right?
Like,
Imagine the
Bro,
competition. Yeah.
from Tennessee is just crushing that.
back. Yeah.
one of my favorite ones is is it the decathlon where they have where they ski with the gun on their back
Oh,
and then
yeah,
they
that's-
stop and they lay down and shoot the
shoot.
targets and
Yeah.
Yeah,
keep
but those
going.
targets
And
are
they,
like the size of a dime, you know,
Yeah.
and they're shooting like, I don't know, like 100, 200 yards away. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
if you're an Olympic dude at an Olympics and you see a chick and you're like, that's the girl I need to marry right there because she can
Bang
just
her.
hammer
Yeah.
a target
Oh,
and
how
then
about-
ski for 45 minutes and then crush targets.
I don't know.
You know, the
there's-
Olympic Village must be in a really awesome place to be.
I was
I'd love to be there.
yeah, it's, I
That's why they
heard,
got the cardboard
yeah,
beds this year.
yeah.
Yeah. To discourage. That would not discourage me at all. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, the village will be insane.
Yeah. No, there's some hot athletes out there. That's for sure. Yeah.
Whatchamacallit, a couple of mates of
Zamboni
mine.
board's coming up.
A couple of mates of mine. They were in the Olympics for curling,
Oh,
and yeah,
what?
for curling, they won actually with the same year that Canada won the gold when Sydney got the golden goal in 2010. A
Yeah.
couple of guys that I played slow pitch softball with were gold medalists. They were in
Really?
Kevin Martin's rink. Yeah, he. So one was the fourth guy, and then one was the second guy, the cookout. He's actually quite a big curler in Canada in his own right. And yeah, they won the gold medal. And they said when they got to stay in the village, it was like the Canadian hockey team was there as well. So they got quite close with them, and they just said like that village that year in Vancouver was just absolutely unreal.
Unreal.
Like just the because once your events are over, it's just like woohoo,
Yeah,
Yeah.
you just light it
vacation
up.
time. Like you're on a
Yeah, light it up.
and as an athlete, he's like you can go to anything. He's like so he was at the game, like he was at the Golden Goal game, like got to go watch countless events and just just
Yeah. That would have
wicked
been cool.
experiment. Yeah,
Yeah.
So one of my highlights. My sister was a figure skater,
Oh
and we
yeah.
went to Lake Placid for a figure skating competition.
yeah,
Lake
So Lake
Placid.
Placid had two Olympics, right? It was like the 1920s and the 1960s or whatever. So Lake Placid obviously was where the Americans won the gold medal,
yeah,
the Miracle on Ice and stuff. And it was fucking really cool because the rink had it was the rink, but they had a figure skating rink in behind it.
yeah,
So there's no board, so it was ice, and you could skate in there. And then I remember I took my skates, and we had gone for a skate around the speed skating ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so the Zamboni was at. I remember that, and we kind of followed it around this giant ring, and it was just it's a big loop, and it's ice, and you go for a skate. But it's beautiful setting. I mean, you got all the trees and the pine trees, and so we saw the ski jump and all this kind of stuff. But it was just cool because this setting was two Olympics. So it was the 1920s and the 1960s. So everything was all there, and it was really cool. And
Yeah. Yeah.
so that was really cool. So I remember reading this thing about how, and if you've read anything about the Olympics and stuff, so they spend billions of dollars on all these settings, but they never use them again. So they kind of just end up in disarray and stuff. So they're talking about kind of revisiting countries that have hosted the Olympics because they have all these amazing venues, and it's like you have to reuse them.
Yeah, well, they though? Because I was watching I was reading an article about all like Seoul, Barcelona,
yeah.
a lot of the
A
um,
lot of them are broken
venues.
down
Yeah, are just in
Yeah,
and they're just
disarray, and
destroyed. Yeah,
just
like
just disarray.
$22 billion Japan spent fucking putting
Mhm.
these on. Nobody can attend. Nobody's
yeah.
flying in to
Yeah,
ingest
they built these
anything
Yeah.
into the market.
state of the art facilities,
That are
and
one
they're
off.
You
yeah,
know, they
It's
got fucked
so my argument was
yeah,
like,
up
during
the
World War
ass.
One and World War Two, they canceled the Olympics because obviously they couldn't have them. With the pandemic, and it's like, well, the difference is the money contracts with the TV
Yep.
stations.
Yeah.
Like they
mm,
can't, they that the money is all in that. Like
Yep.
that's the difference between what
yeah,
happened in
Yeah.
the 40s and to now.
yeah.
Like they have to do it.
It's
Well, they
like
were realists back
the
then.
gate for the actual Olympics is just cherries
Yeah.
Yeah,
on
yeah,
top. You know,
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah. Well, that's what the article was sort of alluding to, is that the Olympic Games should just be canceled because it's a
yeah.
farce. It's a bit of a
Yeah.
farce now.
It really is when you got a global pandemic going on. It
Mm.
like I don't know.
I mean, I get the athletes
It's
are
money.
athletes and stuff, but
And
yeah,
I
that's
and I was reading an article today. Like a lot of the athletes in these Olympics, they're young.
Yeah,
You know, because can you imagine like training for 4 years and like the pandemic happens and you can't go? Like that's
Man,
devastating.
we have a
You know?
14-year-old swimmer on the
Yeah,
Canadian swimming team. She was training, like since
we got
fuck,
kids
Since
in
she
it
was
now.
4
10.
years ago. 4 years
Yeah,
ago,
she
she
was
was
exactly.
10.
She was
You know
10,
Yeah.
exactly.
and they're
Next
trained.
Olympics she'll be 18. The one
Yeah.
after that she'll be
So
22.
there was
Like it's
some
ridiculous.
chick, I don't know what country it was from, and she was saying she was in her eighth Olympics. She was 46. Eighth Olympics.
Yeah, it's
Like she
crazy.
was a gymnast too, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
eighth Olympics. Can you
yeah.
imagine that? Like
Insane.
every 4 years. You do the math. Like that's crazy.
She was
All right.
46, so that means her first Olympics she was 10.
So 8 is 32, right? So yeah, she's pretty young.
Fuck. Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you guys: is there anything you guys can do that you're shitty at? Any sport that you do, like you shitty at the sport you do? Say for me, it's golf. I can't
Oh,
golf.
who's not shitty at golf,
Yeah,
right?
everybody's shit at golf.
Yeah, golf.
But I don't
Everybody's
like
shitty
golf
at golf.
because I just think it's dumb.
Ah,
Like I understand like
I
why
don't-
people like golf, but I just
I
suck
enjoy it
at it.
because
So
I
I'm
suck.
shit.
It's. I mean, I hit the ball, it goes. You're like, yeah, well, I don't.
Yeah, I'm not really there to golf though.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just
you're
there to hang out with the boys.
Fish.
Fish,
Light it up and
have a
fishing.
day.
I suck at fishing.
Yeah,
You know?
I
I'm not a good fisherman.
See,
I-
the thing is, these are all drinking activities, right?
Right?
yeah.
But
You
they're
know, you
sports.
golf. Right.
Well, I
That's
don't
not
really-
fishing.
I don't really play sports that I don't.
That you suck at? Inline.
But,
I suck
but
at
as you
inline.
get
Yeah,
older, you don't
inline-
want to do
inline's a good
stuff
one, yeah.
because you don't want to suck at it. When you're younger, you can do stuff because you don't care. But when you get older, I'm like,
Yeah.
well, I suck at it, so I don't want to do it.
Sometimes, like inline was like a new challenge for me. I enjoyed it because I did suck. And it was like starting over, being humble again. Like
Yeah.
But I felt
You know?
like I knew the basics of it, and I
I
felt
think
like
you
I was
do.
good at it because I can pass and I can skate. I can't stop, and I know the game. Like I'm smart, right?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I fucking suck. I can't play the
Yeah.
fucking game.
Yeah,
I'm terrible.
Yeah,
I can't play net because I have to wear. I can't
terrible
wear
at that,
boots.
too.
You know.
yeah. And that's a whole other
Can't
challenge
remember.
playing in fucking rollerblades. It's crazy.
Yeah.
So I
You know,
think
we
we're gonna.
When Punchy sorts his life out and we get a fucking ball hockey league going, then we're all
Yeah.
gonna be happy.
Oh fuck!
Oh,
Shotgun net.
And we can all
shotgun.
fucking have a great time.
Everybody
Basically,
wants to
road
play
hockey
net for
every
ball
day.
hockey. Everybody wants to play.
There's a fucking street fight to play net for ball
That's
hockey
right. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I'm shotgunning.
because
it
it's
now.
awesome.
It is. It is. Like legends are made in ball hockey net.
Legends are created
Yeah.
with pad stacks and ginormous glove saves.
That's
Oh, we
right.
got a chirp in here from Marky. He said he remembers Ben Johnson was the face of Finnish milk ad campaign for the equivalent of Fonterra. There, they had to pull the entire
That's
campaign.
amazing. That's amazing. He was a hero for 3 weeks.
And
That's-
Mizzy
that's
and
cool.
Mizzy said, He says I'm not watching the Olympics. It used to be about the sport, but now this year it's only happened because of the money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
Mizzy's had about 2 cups of coffee, so
Yeah.
he's
he's
working
waking up. He's got legitimate arguments. He's
So
on
let's
a
talk about the
run.
Olympics down in the southern hemisphere of New Zealand. I'll tell you right now, I am fired up. I am fired up for what's going to happen in the next 2 weeks. Down
Oh.
a big wagon train tour,
Well, let's-
extravaganza. I'm
let's jump-
excited.
Let's jump into overtime then. Let's have a little
Okay,
chirp
'cause
in overtime.
my balls are fucking swollen. I'm so excited. I am so excited.
I'm rich, biatch.
I'm
That's
rich,
what that
yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of that too, man.
I got enough cigarettes to last my fan for the rest of my life. I'm rich, yeah. I'm not a truck driver.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, let's talk about the fire. Let's talk about the big thing that's going to happen next. This is a big deal. for
Yeah,
New Zealand.
yeah.
Bigger
yeah, so
than
we-
the Olympics.
So if you don't know if you're still with us and you're kind of curious, we're gonna have a couple awesome shows that we're gonna
It's a big time.
pull off in the next couple of weeks. So this is episode 22, and this is gonna be where we take a little bit of a break. We're gonna do one more episode next week. We're gonna do one more episode next week, and then we'll be on the road. And we're gonna come on the road, and we're gonna film a bunch of episodes, and then we're gonna take a break, and we're gonna enjoy some time with our families, and we're gonna bring to the end. We figure 25 episodes in, we're gonna call the end of season 1, and we're gonna take a little bit of a break, and we're gonna come back right back for season 2 as we lead into the BHL draft and take most of the rest of August off. And so what we got coming up is the ODR series.
It's going to be awesome.
It's going to be 16 fellas. Finally, Riding Pine, all of us are going to get a chance to get some game time under our belts here. But there's 16 of us. We're heading down. We're playing on two of the most amazing outdoor rinks that you've ever seen on the planet here in New Zealand and the South Island, as well as one of the southernmost rinks in the world, and a good buddy of the Traveling Goons and of the show, Drew McMillan, is now taking over as the rink guy down there. So we get to start off with Drew and then make our way up the South Island, and it's going to be one hell of a time. Langer's pumped. I'm pretty pumped. Yeah, his balls are swollen.
Got an extra large jock for this.
Sweaty and swollen.
But we've created
Awesome.
we've created an idol. We've created an idol. Do you have the idol around, Langer?
Yeah, I do. And I've got a lot of other things. Just to the listeners out there, I've got a few other things in the pipeline.
Oh.
But I will show you the idol. I spent some time on it.
We'll show the idol.
This trip is going to be epic.
This trip is going to be epic.
Next level amazingness.
Riding Pine is hosting this trip, so we've come up with all kinds of stuff for the Goons to experience.
So if you're on the horse, you're going to just hold on because you're going to get bucked. And it's
so
awesome.
The idol that Langer's going to go grab. The idol that Langer's going to go grab. When in possession of this idol, at any moment you can ask any of your teammates on the Goons for a beer or something to eat. You can descriptively lay out what that should be, and it is whoever you ask job to get it. As you can see, that idol right there is a goaltender wearing the Goons outfit. So it's going to be fun. Next week, before we leave, on the kickoff show for the Goons, hopefully we're going to have a couple of the Goons on the show with us, and we're going to explain a little bit more about this trip. The whole show is going to be about the trip.
It's going to be one of a kind experience.
One of our best shows, one of our funnest shows to do is Road Trips Part 1. So this time it's going to be Road Trips Part 2. So that'll be coming up next week. For overtime, your number one Olympic memory. Summer.
Number one Olympic memory. Oh, that's a tough one. I probably go with the Donovan Bailey one.
Donovan Bailey.
Atlanta. Was that Atlanta in 96 or
yeah, good call. 92, 96. Yeah, I can't remember. Yeah.
96 was that the one where there was the bomb?
Yeah, there was they blew some shit up. I remember that.
That's right. I remember that. Okay.
I don't remember that shit.
Yeah, you don't? That was a big deal.
Welcome to the Atlanta where the players play, the dropping bombs like every day. I don't know. I don't think that's how that song goes.
Punch Man laying it down.
Nice. Yeah.
All over town. Yeah.
Mine, like I said, was that whole 88 experience. That whole 88 experience was mine.
In Seoul, Korea.
In Seoul, Korea?
Was it Seoul, Korea?
No, it was Calgary.
Ben Johnson?
Seoul.
Oh, right.
Yeah, Seoul was.
Right.
Yeah, Seoul was Ben Johnson.
So, because at the time, though, you have to remember, at the time, the summer and the Winter Olympics were in the same year, and I think it was '94 that they changed that, because there was the '92 Olympics in Albertville. Anyway,
94.
the 92 and the 94 Olympics, it was like
Ah.
2 years later. So
Yes.
I don't-
80 Olympics.
Lillehammer was 94.
So the 80 Olympics in Calgary was the last year that they had the Olympics in the same year because it was in Seoul, Korea.
That's right.
And
That
Van
is right.
Johnson was crushing steroids or whatever else he was doing. And like he was blue black, he was Concord grape, he was driving a Corvette around. He couldn't speak any English, but you're like, yeah, he's from Canada.
That's right.
Like, oh yeah, he's born in the Barbados. I'm like, yeah, whatever. He's Canadian. 'Cause we do that because the Kiwis do that. They're like,
That's right.
Anita Ko or whatever is. What's that golf girl? She's like super Chinese or
Yeah.
Korean or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, she's New Zealand. You're like, yeah,
Yeah, it's
whatever.
Kiwi. Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
What do you think about the weightlifter?
The New Zealand one?
Yeah.
I didn't know we had a weightlifter.
So what we need to talk about is what do you think about the people that like have cocks and decide they have vaginas and they're gonna compete on the vagina side of the
yeah,
Olympics?
no, that shouldn't happen. Your genetics. should
That's the
be-
weightlifter,
Well,
isn't
and
it?
that's- Yeah, so that's the thing.
Oh.
Like if
Yeah.
you look up the skirt, if you have a
It's
dick,
weightlifting.
you're a dude.
He's competing against the girls.
She,
She's-
they,
Because
I'm not
identified
sure.
as a woman.
It's identified as a woman, but has the traps of a man.
No. If you have a cock and balls, you're a guy.
He still has cock and balls,
But he identifies as a woman.
but he identifies as a woman.
He started the progression to becoming
Yeah.
a woman.
Jesus.
See, I don't like that. I mean, if you
No, I
have a
don't
cock
like
and
that.
balls, you're
I want
a
to see
dude.
Caitlyn
Yeah.
Jenner come out of retirement and win the decathlon.
That's right.
No, but I want to see
Men's
us go
Now
play
that,
for the women's.
that would be a story. Come back 30 years later as a woman and win the women's category.
and win the men's. Oh fuck, that'd be.
You're the
cool.
first to have a gold medal for each sex
That's
ever,
right.
right?
So South Park,
Bruce
South Park
Jenner.
had an episode a few years ago where it was all about strong woman. So she's like the strong woman. She's doing the, but then her enemy was a guy who was essentially Randy Macho Man Savage
Oh yeah.
because he decided he's a woman and was crushing everyone in the competition.
Fuck, I want
you
to Slim
couldn't argue
Jim
it
so
because-
bad right now.
But you couldn't argue it.
Slim Jim. Oh yeah.
But you couldn't argue it because she decided that he was a man.
I didn't even know what a Slim Jim was.
So I remember getting into this argument with this girl years ago. She's like, well, you know, she can play in the golf tournament because she's a girl. So can the men play in the girls' golf? No, that's not fair. Well,
Yeah.
why not? Listen, I'm telling you right now. If you look under the skirt, if you got cock and balls, you're on this team. If you have a
Right.
vagina, you're on this team. I don't
You know what?
care if you want to
Easy.
decide you're on something else. And like,
That's right. Yeah. That's
But,
right.
you know,
but I
really-
identify. Okay, cool. You are still a man.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
that's great. But you got a big giant dick, so you're on this team.
I mean, would it make a difference if he had his big giant dick cut off, you know, or flipped inside out, or whatever the fuck?
No,
they
it
do with the
wouldn't,
dick,
because you
know?
still had the dick.
Right.
You still have the testosterone and all the
Right.
shit.
Yeah. Your
I
biology.
just wonder if it's the event, right? Like everybody's
Listen,
making
who's
such a
that
big
girl?
deal about it,
Who's
but
that girl that throws the shot put? What's her name?
Yeah.
Adams,
Valerie Adams?
Valerie
Are you
Adams.
kidding? Listen, she could go in the men's side and crush the dudes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she should
And
have
if
that
she does-
option.
But if
If
she
she
doesn't
wants.
win,
Do them both.
exactly, she wants to go
Dual,
and
dual
throw,
sex
throw
titles.
giant weights around the dudes. She's still a girl.
I'm all about that.
But, you know, for LeBron James, it's like I'm a girl
When
now.
one is a guy, one is a girl, go down
I'm
history.
gonna tuck my cock and balls between my legs, and I'm gonna play for the fucking girls.
See, like I
Don't
said though,
call
I
it-
think it's
he's
the
still a
event,
dude.
right? Because the athlete is competing in weightlifting. If she was doing like the 1,500-meter walk race, there might not be such an issue.
Oh my god. Okay,
You
so
know-
now
you
that you
know-
pulled that up, we're gonna talk about this because I've been talking to Somerville
There's
today.
a hot
So,
button issue. I know. I
we need to
figured
talk about this. So we're going to talk about gay sports. So
We've been talking about gay
Phil and I
sports.
have been
Started
talking
with
about
gay
this.
sports.
The gay sports was the whole
Okay,
third
so
period.
the
The
More
other
gay
night, I
sports
was
in overtime.
yeah. So I was watching the synchronized diving the other night.
We're already talked about
These
synchronized
guys
diving.
are absolutely jacked. They are crushed. Like their bodies are like I can't. I would love to have that. Like
Oh
they're
my
just
god, we're not
ripped.
doing this.
But then they're
We're not-
diving, but they're not curling at the same. And I'm like, how do you judge this? Because they
Who can
didn't
see
curl
it?
at the right
Who
time.
can
Right?
actually see that? You know
And
what
the
I mean?
splash was not.
Yeah.
It was kind of
There
a
was 3
big
drops
splash.
too many.
Exactly.
Yeah. No.
Okay.
So you were talking. Somerville was
What
talking
about
about
their swimming trunks? Right?
the tight.
Yeah.
They're
So tight.
barely covering. The specifications of
That's right.
covering.
They
things.
just covers what needs to be covered, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
it.
just cover what
But
needs
these
to be
guys
covered.
are just the envy, like just crushing it. So where do we go from this? So they're doing their diving thing, and the splash is a bit too big, and I don't know. I'm like, man, that's really. I couldn't do that. So I don't know. Like I don't know how they judging this.
Somebody's judging it.
Somebody
Yeah,
is.
somebody's judging it.
So I watched the hockey, and you were talking about the walking race. Did you do that anymore? Like the walking race where they
Yeah.
walk really hard?
Yeah, they do that. They
Super
walk
hard
really hard.
walking. And
then
their
tight
ass is, like,
exits.
tight,
Yeah. Boing,
Which-
boing,
walking.
boing, 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 boing.
Well,
Your
let's
feet
leave it
can't
at this
leave the
thing.
ground.
Like, are you going to get any game in the Olympic Village because you're like a walking guy?
That's right.
Like your ass is so tight, and some chicks like your ass is super
But
tight.
it's like
and
a
I'm
32K
I
walk.
want to fuck
you
that.
know what I mean?
Fuck your ass.
It's like your ass is tighter than mine, you know?
Yeah, it's tight.
So, what is the sport that you'd like to see get put into the Olympics? And we'll leave it at that.
Hacky sack.
Nice, nice. That's such a good call.
The still
Wow.
like, straight up.
That's so dope. That would be awesome to watch,
It's
man.
like a golden.
How would you
hacky sack.
how would you judge that though? Would you judge it like would it be like tricks or would it be like how many times
Yeah,
you can
well,
keep it up? And
yeah,
how
well,
and would you
people
play in like
dolls and
you could have like individual events, I guess. You could have
You
like
could team ones
four
as well,
men, yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
like 4 men synchronized
Yeah.
hacky sack.
well, we invented this game. We called it
That'd be
SEPA.
awesome.
But in your parking lot, your local parking lot, where you just have your standard parking squares in front of each other in a row, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Right.
And everybody takes a square, and basically, wherever the hacky sack lands, in your square, then it's a point against you. And we played to 10. And it was full contact. And if the
Oh, so you knew this was.
oh
like
man, we
something
had a full
you knew this
rule book. It was a full rule book. The whole
Oh my god.
the whole town.
What
Like, the
did you
kids,
call
we
it
all
again?
Played it. SEPA.
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 What does that mean though for the listeners?
Nothing. I just somebody said it one day, and they called the hacky sack a SEPA, and so we just called it parking lot SEPA.
Parking lot
And-
SEPA.
yeah.
That's
And it was
awesome,
serious.
dude.
It was serious. It was like bragging rights. We had a full,
Right.
multiple tournaments, but we played, as we were partying, as teenagers.
Yeah,
in the
our
parking
game was
lot.
Beersby. Beersby.
Right.
See, I get wrecked and I can't do anything. I just want to talk to people.
Well, it was but it was yeah.
I can't.
anyway.
I can't do any games. That's
Full
cool.
contact. If it hit the line, it was like anybody's ball. So you get, tackling going on or trying to step on a buddy's hand as they tried to reach for the ball. The hacky sack. You'd
So you
stomp on their
created
hand.
this.
It
You,
was
you
full
created
contact.
this game.
Yeah, like the
That's
serve
awesome.
had to
So
be
you
at least
created
knee
this.
height, and you could kick it into people's faces, or if it was close to the line, you'd sort of bum rush the line.
But how did people
and let it
respond to
roll
the
down your
rules
body.
though? So if you were not following the
Oh, it
rules,
got serious.
did they
Oh.
understand that?
Oh
these
yeah,
are the
everybody
rules?
knew the rules. Yeah, yeah,
Right.
Yeah, you
yeah.
gotta
it
know
got
the
serious.
rules.
Yeah, they
Right.
got heated sometimes. People got angry and left and rage quit and blah blah blah.
Nice.
Yeah,
And they
yeah.
left.
Yeah, that's right. I'm
Okay, so you'd like to see
So
hacky
Punchman,
sack?
you
Yeah,
had
hacky
something going on too, Punchman.
Dude, Beersby. Beersby
Beersby,
is
yeah.
mine.
What's that?
Oh.
Is that
You ever
similar?
play that
That
game?
is an amazing game.
Hey,
That
Beersby is
is
unreal.
amazing. Yeah.
So
that is-
yeah, because that game you can be that game.
it is exactly up our alley.
Yeah, and,
We would be the world champion Beersby
yeah,
players. Yeah.
yeah.
I can't throw a frisbee or shit though, but
No, but you don't need to in
I
that
can
game.
catch the cup.
That's yes. You need to catch the can or the cup or
Or
whatever. Yeah,
whatever you're putting on the stick.
yeah. Whatever you're putting on the steak.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah,
yeah?
that was it was
We play it
huge.
with
It
two
was huge.
stakes,
Right?
right? Just the width of a frisbee, and you have two cups on top of the stakes, and you throw
Okay.
the frisbee, and you either got to try and hit one of them off, right? So you hit the stick, and if the cup comes off, and it hits the ground, you have to drink your beer as
Yeah.
the
I
protector
love
Exactly.
all
But
of this
if
so much.
if you catch the cup before it hits the ground while holding your beer, not spilling it, the other team has to drink.
Yeah, and
But
if you get
the frisbee in between the stakes, you got to chug everything and open a new beer.
This
yeah.
is crazy.
Is
If
that
you-
your rules? Those were my
Yeah.
rules.
Yeah, well, we didn't play with two stakes. It was
Two
just
stakes.
one. It
Just
was
one.
one stake and three guys on a team. So
Right.
one guy's protecting the cup, and then the other guy's in behind him because if the team throws and they miss, but it's catchable, somebody's got to catch it. If not, you all got to drink as well.
Right.
But yeah, it's a beautiful game. So what's your game, Langer? And then we're gonna end it there.
My big game growing up was tetherball.
Oh,
Nice.
Right. So there's the.
So you want that in the Olympics?
that would
you know
not
what? They
be
were-
a bad idea,
That would be
man.
intense in the Olympics.
That would be
But it was
insane.
it was kind of like you run like you ruled
The school ground?
schoolyard. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there'd be a lineup,
Yeah.
and there'd be like the retarded guy who was like really good at it,
That's right.
and he just wrap it around the pole, right? So,
you
and
get
it'd be
that
the one guy.
momentum.
So the rules were like a guy would go up, and like if you won it, you
You were
you
king.
were in charge.
Yes.
So you ran the show. But there's always the guy who's retarded. But you
That
know,
was his
you
thing,
can
yeah.
understand that was his thing, right? So he just wrapped around.
Oh, yeah.
Some guy had their wrist wrapped around the pole, and he'd be crying and whatever. But we just stand up there, and you gotta you can't palm the ball, right? You gotta hit it. You can't palm it. You can't grab the ball and throw it
There
around.
was always that
Yeah, yeah.
discrepancy, right? Like
I mean,
somebody
the-
would
There's a lot
do
of
that, be
cops,
like, oh,
a lot of
yeah.
refs.
Yeah, that's right.
So we go out there and stand in line for
Basically, everybody in line was the ref. No,
exactly.
yeah, he's out. He's out.
But there's always be this one renegade kid that got in, and he beat the fucking champ.
Yeah,
and
and you do
he
it.
would probably last for like 2 or 3
3
rounds,
rounds,
and then
yeah.
he'd get crushed.
That's right.
And then that guy would
But for those 2
reestablish.
Yeah.
But for those 2 rounds, he was the guy. But then he'd reestablish control.
And he'd make his way onto the podium.
Yeah, so you got the orange tether ball, and it was on the the clip or whatever, and they take it off, and they would only bring it out for recess. And then you didn't. It wasn't like you wanted to actually do. I never wanted to play the game. It was just you did because
Something to do,
that's what
right?
you do.
Yeah.
You stand in line, and get your ass kicked, and then you just go back the line
Go
and
back
talk
to
to some
the line.
girls or
That's
throw
right.
a snowball at somebody and just fucking hang out.
So we're hoping that the IOC is listening up. We want to add Beersby, we want to add tetherball, and of course we want to add hacky sack.
Yeah.
Right.
And that is going to end another episode of Riding Pine Chronicles of the Fourth Line, brought to you by the Hockey House. It's the Fourth Line. It's Punchy Langer in summertime, and we are out of here.
Thanks for listening, folks.
Right. Subscribe. Press the button. All right.
And subscribe.
Riding the pine, riding the pine. It's Chronicles of the Fourth
Try to
Line.
subscribe.
Sitting on a bench with 2 good friends of mine.
Mine.
That's why I'm riding the pine with Punchy